Hey kids, it's Jim, your host. Today we're going on a scientific journey to learn about Aristotle, one of the greatest thinkers of all time. So who was Aristotle, you ask? Well, Aristotle was born in ancient Greece over 2,000 years ago. He was a curious kid who loved to ask questions about the world around him. He studied everything from plants and animals to the stars and planets. Aristotle was also a great student. He went to the Academy, one of the most famous schools in the world at the time. There, he learned from Plato, another great Greek thinker. Aristotle was a brilliant scientist, teacher, and writer whose work has had a profound impact on the world. His ideas about science and philosophy have been studied and debated for centuries, and they continue to influence our thinking today because they offer insights into the fundamental nature of reality and the human condition. His ideas are challenging but rewarding, and they can help us to better understand ourselves and the world around us. Aristotle was a pioneer of scientific experimentation. He believed that the best way to learn about the world was to observe it and conduct experiments. He designed and conducted experiments to test his ideas about a wide range of topics. For example, Aristotle conducted an experiment to test his hypothesis that heavy objects fall faster than light objects. He dropped two objects of different weights from the same height and observed that they reached the ground at the same time. This experiment helped to disprove the prevailing belief that heavy objects fall faster than light objects. Aristotle also conducted experiments to study the behavior of animals. He observed that bees communicate with each other by dancing, and he studied the different ways that birds build their nests. His observations of animals helped him to develop a better understanding of their behavior and biology. Aristotle's experimental methods were not as sophisticated as those used by modern scientists, but he was one of the first thinkers to systematically use experimentation to study the world. His work laid the foundation for the development of modern scientific methods. For example of a specific experiment that Aristotle conducted. To test his hypothesis that animals have different parts that serve functions, Aristotle dissected a variety of animals. He observed that the hearts of all animals are different shapes, but they all have the same basic structure. He also observed that the stomachs of different animals are adapted to different diets. For example, the stomachs of herbivores are larger and more complex than the stomachs of carnivores. Aristotle's observations from this experiment helped him to develop his theory of teleology, which holds that all living things have been designed with a purpose in mind. He believed the different parts of an animal's body are designed to work together to help the animal survive and reproduce. Here is a fun fact for you. Did you know? Aristotle was also a tutor to Alexander the Great, one of the most famous conquerors in history. Alexander was so impressed with Aristotle that he gave him a large sum of money to build a school. You can visit the place today in Athens. And there you have it, our ancient adventure with Aristotle. He was a philosopher and scientist who showed us the wonders of the natural world. Thanks for exploring with me today, young adventurers. If you want to learn more about amazing people like Aristotle, hit that subscribe button, and let's embark on more historical journeys together. See you next time.